Boeing doesn't actually build most of a Boeing. The accepted story is clean. Boeing designs aircraft, builds them in factories in Washington and South Carolina, sells them to airlines, and keeps the profit. It's a vertically integrated manufacturer, a titan controlling its own destiny. That's the narrative. But follow the money, and here's the trick: Boeing's actual margin on a single aircraft is far thinner than most people think. And the reason isn't competition, it's supply chain architecture. When an airline orders a 787 Dreamliner, Boeing doesn't manufacture the wings. Mitsubishi does, the fuselage section, Spirit Aerosystems. The landing gear comes from Safran, the avionics from Collins. Boeing assembles these pieces and integrates the software. But here's what most people miss: Boeing doesn't own those suppliers. It outsources roughly 70% of production by value. This strategy emerged in the 1990s and 2000s. Boeing faced pressure to cut costs and accelerate production. Outsourcing reduced capital expenditure and shifted inventory risk to suppliers. Airlines wanted cheaper planes. Shareholders wanted higher returns. The supply chain became the pressure valve. Now an airline negotiates a price with Boeing, say $120 million for 737 MAX. Boeing's direct manufacturing cost sits around $90 million to $100 million depending on configuration. That leaves $20 to $30 million as gross margin. But Boeing still needs to cover engineering, regulatory compliance, customer support, and debt service on facilities. The actual profit per aircraft is often single digits as a percentage. Here's where the model breaks. The supply chain only works if suppliers remain solvent and deliver on time. If Mitsubishi delays a wing shipment by 3 months, Boeing's entire assembly schedule fractures. Penalty clauses kick in. Airlines demand compensation. Suddenly, that $20 million margin vanishes. Airlines, for their part, operate on margins just as thin. A 737 MAX might generate $15,000 to $20,000 per flight in revenue. Operating costs, fuel, crew maintenance, airport fees consume most of that. The aircraft must fly thousands of hours to break even on its $120 million purchase price. One grounding, like what happened in 2019, costs airlines hundreds of millions. This is the real structure. Boeing acts as an integrator and systems architect, not a pure manufacturer. Its power lies in design, certification, and customer relationships, not in production. The suppliers hold the capital-intensive work. Boeing holds the risk. And here's the trick: if something goes wrong, Boeing's reputation absorbs the blow, even when the fault lies upstream. The 737 MAX crisis in 2018 and 2019 exposed this fragility. A software issue, the Macaws system, grounded 346 aircraft globally for 20 months. Airlines lost billions in revenue. Boeing lost $62 billion in market value. But the actual engineering failure traced back to how Boeing managed supplier integration and software testing protocols. Yet the supply chain persists because the alternative is worse. Building everything in-house would require Boeing to invest tens of billions in new facilities, hire thousands of workers, and carry massive fixed costs. The outsourced model, despite its fragility, keeps Boeing's balance sheet leaner and allows rapid scaling when demand surges. Airlines accept thin margins for the same reason. They need aircraft capacity to grow routes and revenue. Delaying aircraft purchases to negotiate lower prices isn't viable. Demand doesn't wait. So Boeing and its customers exist in a state of mutual dependence, each operating on compressed margins where disruption is catastrophic. The real story isn't about Boeing's engineering genius or market dominance. It's about how a global supply chain, optimized for efficiency, creates systemic fragility. Boeing doesn't control the system, it orchestrates it. And orchestration only works when every player performs on cue. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. If you want to understand how the world's most durable brands actually make money, not the story they tell, but where the cash actually flows, subscribe. There's a new breakdown every week. Subscribe, there's a new breakdown of how the money actually flows every week. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.